Hello guys, this is Zach Weaver bringing you Off the Air, a media news show. I want to talk to you today about the AT&T Time-Warner acquisition of $85 billion for AT&T to purchase Time-Warner. And so what we have here is a vertical merger. AT&T being a primarily they're a telecom and internet provider, and Time Warner and Spectrum being a media and cable provider. This is seen as a vertical merger, and it's being blocked by the Department of Justice. That was done about a month ago, and right now. You have the Department of Justice is calling in witnesses for there's a court date set for a trial that's going to happen March 19th of 2018 next year. They're going to be calling in witnesses from a lot of other competing media companies. Some of the companies and Comcast is the main one, the key witness that they want to get information on. I'll get into that a little bit, but some of the witnesses that they're going to be bringing in, you've got Disney, you've got Dish Network, Charter Communications, you got Cox Communications, Cable One, you got Sony, you got Verizon, and last but not least, there's Comcast. Now, why is Comcast a little more important in this case? Well, Comcast has precedence in this matter. In 2011, a deal went through where Comcast purchased NBC Universal, giving Comcast a huge media share there. That might have been their first. That might have been like a vertical acquisition or a vertical merger at the time. Now, in 2014, Comcast they had a merger that was blocked. Comcast tried to purchase Time Warner back in 2014, and during the Obama administration, the Department of Justice blocked that merger. It was seen as a horizontal merger, which for the Department of Justice, they ask the question they tend to ask is, will there be the same number of competitors in an industry? And with horizontal mergers, it's a lot less likely that the competition will be that the competition will be as fair, that there'll be as many competing. But this is different. This is a horizontal merger. Because again, AT&T is a telecom internet service provider. Time Warner is a cable and media provider. Comcast is getting involved as a key witness. The Department of Justice wants to hear about their side on like what they think, if this counts as too severe of if it's going to cut into competition too far, and if it's going to affect the consumer in too terrible of a way. So some of the Time Warner assets that AT&T would be acquiring in this merger are as follows. You have HBO and Cinemax. You've got TBS. You've got True TV, TNT, Cartoon Network. Time Warner's 10% stake on in Hulu, going up against Disney's now 60%. Got CNN. CNN, guys, it's pretty big. Warner Brothers. There's so DC Comics, Mad. You've got Castle Rock, TMZ, Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, and then you've got affiliate web content like Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango. So that's pretty big there. So it's a pretty big deal, and surely is. I don't know if I said it before, but this is an $85 billion deal proposed between AT&T and Time Warner. $85 billion. So that's if this were to go through, it would trump the you've got the AOL Time Warner deal that was like over $100 billion. So you would have this deal below it, the AT&T Time Warner deal. What just occurred was the Disney Fox deal for $52 billion. So right now it's blocked, and again the court date is set for March 19th, where witnesses across the spectrum of media content and of these kind of companies will be brought in, but primarily Comcast, and we're going to be deciding if this vertical merger is going to stifle competition too severely, and if it's going to harm consumers as a result. Again, the Department of Justice typically gets involved in horizontal mergers between directly competing companies. AT&T and Time Warner not seen as directly competing, being a vertical merger. So this is a new course of action, a slightly different direction for the Department of Justice. It's good to see them getting involved one way or another, but we won't really know what's going to happen until March. So that's another 3 months away, and it's going to be a couple of weeks until the witnesses are set in stone, but they have a pretty good idea. The Department of Justice, the ones I listed off, those are ones that they definitely have contacted, but some of them might not have responded. I mean, they may not be set in stone. We'll see what happens, but Comcast, I'd be very surprised if they don't hear from Comcast. I know that the Justice Department, they really want to hear from them because for their 2011 deal with NBC Universal, and largely also because of their horizontal merger in 2014 to attempt to acquire Time Warner as well. That's Comcast did. So Comcast has their they're involved. They definitely can be seen as a pretty clear precedent for this kind of event to occur. But we'll see what happens. I'll get back in touch with you guys on the official list of once we know for sure who's going to be showing up to speak as corporate witnesses on this on the legality of this blocking of the AT&T Time Warner deal. If it goes through, it's going to be huge. It's it's an $85 billion merger, giving AT&T vertical power over. They'd be very strong. Of course, they have a whole lot of assets through Time Warner that they'd be getting. So hopefully the Justice Department stands their ground. But again, this is a little different of a direction for them, so we'll have to see how this plays out. All right, guys, we'll keep in touch.